So you can just enter and travel to wherever you want to travel. Huh?
What's the economy?
I suppose the economy quite bad, short of Singaporean shoppers.
But the Singapore side don't know whether come back still need to quarantine. Huh?
I think a lot of countries opening up also. Australia, New Zealand.
Some also do away with the COVID restrictions, they say.
Probably before the elections. Okay, all right, so it's 8:30. Maybe we let Terence kick off.
Okay. You too, and a very good evening, everyone. Welcome to the MSBS Guided Meditation by Phra Goh. Today is the 15th of February 2022. And we would like to wish all Chinese around the world happy Chak Kong Mei and Buddhists happy Maha. We are very grateful to have with us Bhante Adhibalo, popularly known as Phra Goh. Bhante was born on July 14, 1985 and was ordained under the Thai Dhamma sect at Santi Falls Monastery in Malaysia 2008. Bhante is currently the religious advisor to Buddhist Youth Network, Singapore. Today, we'll be continuing on the topic of blessings, Mangala Sutta. Bhante will be leading the homage to the Buddha and taking a 5 precept for Buddhists. Now, let us compose our minds, put our palms together, and welcome Bhante. Over to you, Bhante.
Okay, thank you, Terence, for the intro. So we start off with the opening chant. First, we have 3 bows to the Buddha. First bow, second bow, and third bow. So homage. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. And the 3 refuges. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. And the 5 precepts. Pāṇātipada vīramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi. Adinādāna vīramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi. Kāmesu micchācārā vīramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi. Musāvādā vīramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi. Suramēraya majjapamādāṭthāna vīramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, so tonight we are continuing this Mangala Sutta. So good evening, one and all, and happy this 𝙎𝙖𝙣𝙎𝙖𝙦, this Chinese 15th day of the lunar calendar. I heard Terence talk about Magha Puja. The Thai calendar celebrates it tomorrow. I'm not sure about the other tradition, but different observance of the moon, different maybe parallax error or whatever it is. So you have different dates. Okay, so we are starting, or rather we're continuing this Mangala Sutta. We started off right from the beginning of the year. Someone requested on the teachings of blessings. So in the Mangala Sutta, there are like 38 blessings. So we've gone through like halfway. And now we are, I think, in the part of like the mental cultivation part. Yeah, so we already talked about some of the foundations, how to be like a good, even for a lay person, how to support your family, your relatives, and stuff like that. Basic goodness, practicing charity, stuff like that. So now we are starting with this slide. So today I'm just going to read out this particular phrase: respect, humility, contentment, gratitude, hearing the Dhamma on timely occasions. This is the highest blessing, right? So lots of important qualities, lots of important virtues. Right? So first is respect. So now we talk about respecting the triple gems, respecting maybe the person giving the talk, respect the teachings. So this is kind of state of mind. So when a person is respectful, then they are more receptive to listening. Then they are more, they can receive, they can absorb. If a person is not respectful, then they're kind of like, there's lots of resistance. Yeah, lots of resistance. So hi Rachel, welcome to the Zoom class. So finally you're here for your requested topic. So we're continuing with this. So respect is very important. So next one is humility. Humility is also another virtue to make a person absorb the teachings. Absorb the teachings. If a person is too egoistic, not humble, then you cannot learn. So in fact, in our monastic rules, we have these interesting precept when teaching the Dhamma. If a person is standing or seated higher than the monk, and the monk cannot share the Dhamma. We cannot teach Dhamma to people who are displaying lack of humility. Right? Because they are not in the right state of mind, then wasting our breath, and it's kind of devaluing the Dhamma. So it's like a person ends up like nagging, so people will find it annoying. So only when they are in the right condition, if they request or invite, then at least mentally it shows that they are interested. They lower themselves to try to receive either your opinion or the truth, and then you can share. Right? So even among the monastics, we show respect for the teachings. Like case in example is if let's say we have the Patimokkha tomorrow for the Thai tradition. So the person reciting the monastic rules, the Vinaya, they are given a special seat, a higher seat amongst all the monks. So even if they are like very junior, they are given like something like a pedestal kind of seat, higher than the most senior monk, higher than everybody. So they are seated on top because it kind of shows that we need to respect the Vinaya rules. It's not making the person egoistic. It's a symbol of respect. So likewise for Dhamma talk, the same thing. Normally let's say in the physical setting, normally they are given a higher seat for the speaker of the Dhamma. So the same thing. It's tradition. It's a custom that we practice to show respect for the teachings, the Dhamma and the Vinaya. So the Dhamma is the teachings, Vinaya are the rules of discipline. Okay, and also amongst the monastics, we also have this Anjali, right? You normally do this Anjali to the Sangha. Amongst the monastics, we also do this. So we do, the junior monk will Anjali, put the palms together to the senior monk. Right? And this is a kind of salutation and respect. So this is more for the Theravada tradition. We don't have the custom of doing this Anjali to layperson. It goes one direction, not the other way around. But in the Mahayana tradition, they do both ways. So you see Mahayana monastics, the monastics will also put the palms together back to the layperson. So greeting back the layperson. So there's some cultural difference. Okay, so next we talk about contentment. Contentment is a kind of reflection of what we have. So we talked about this last year, contentment and gratitude. Right? So if we focus on what we do not have, then this will create discontent. You want more and more, what you do not have. So let's say in the age of social media, it's easier to look at what other people have. They take photos of themselves traveling overseas, or what kind of products they like to take photos with. Then it's easy to sort of get jealous or get greedy. You want more, right? So this is discontent. So it's good to reflect on contentment, what you have. Very important. And next one is gratitude. So gratitude is the same thing. You count your blessings. You count your blessings. So a lot of times people think blessing means you need to receive from outside. Actually, not necessary. Blessings is basically you count your blessings. What you have achieved, we rejoice, and what you already have, be contented, and that's a kind of blessing. I'm not saying don't strive for something higher. No, you also can aspire for a good cause. Nothing wrong. So, but gratitude is to keep grounded. What you already have and be realistic. Not to set the goals too unrealistically and create unnecessary dukkha, unnecessary suffering. So it is very important to have contentment and gratitude. So like what we have for the new year, how many of you are grateful? Nobody. Maybe a few persons. Okay, so one of our practice in meditation is the rejoicing part. So we practice appreciative joy, it's practicing contentment and this gratitude. Every moment, here and now, we achieve something or we gain something. So we are happy with that moment of experience. So that is a kind of gratitude. And next one, hearing the Dhamma on timely occasions. So this part we've already discussed before. So timely occasion means when the listener is ready. It's about demand and supply. Right? So the speaker or the giver of the Dhamma, you have to wait for the right occasion also. and the listener have to wait for the right occasion. So they are both. So hearing is more on the recipient, the listener. So the listener, like probably yourselves, you log on every Tuesday night. So is that a timely occasion? Depends on the state of mind. If you are eager, or you're interested to learn some new teachings, then that is hearing on timely occasions. If your state of mind is not ready, whatever time of the day, doesn't matter, morning, afternoon, evening, you start to listen to the MP3 or your podcast. And if the mind is not ready, you're busy with your work, you're occupied with something else, then that is not a timely occasion. The sound, the volume may be on, but you absorb nothing. You don't absorb anything. So this is about timely occasion. So you need to wait for the right time when the mind is ready. Right? So normally when you talk about when you're ready to receive the teachings, then you request. Right? So nowadays it's very different from the Buddha's time. In the time of the Buddha, if a person is interested to learn the Dhamma, they have to go up to the monk or the teacher, the Buddha, and they ask the question. Can you give me instructions, or I have certain doubt in certain teachings? Please enlighten me. So there is a timely occasion. So when there's a demand, there's a curiosity, you want to learn, then you ask a question. So nowadays, it's a lot of things are online. So a lot of content online, and a lot of times, if the person is not ready, then there's pros and cons. So you need to search for the Dhamma, and the teachings may not be relevant to your current question or your current problem. So you listen through many topics, and you may not be able to find a suitable teaching, right? So this is one of the problems of the current era. But if you are, let's say, very tech savvy, you know how to search for the appropriate specific topic of your interest, then maybe it might be useful. So again, there are pros and cons. And timely occasion would be if the monk is ready, if the monk is available. So one example of untimely occasion is like when the monk is going for alms round. We have a rule that if we are on alms round, we are carrying the bowl and waiting for the people to donate food, we cannot talk. We cannot teach Dhamma. It becomes like an exchange. People give food, and you, in return, you give the Dhamma. So it becomes like a trade. So the Buddha disallowed this. So going for alms round, we are supposed to keep quiet. So this is a purely act of generosity. So if a person wants to donate, it's a pure act of generosity. It's not expecting something in return. Right? So if you want to listen to Dhamma, other times of the day. And this is the highest blessing. Okay, so the next slide. Okay, so this one is, I'm going to read through this paragraph. Patience, composure, seeing contemplatives, discussing the Dhamma on timely occasions. This is the highest blessing. Okay, so some points are a bit repetitive. So patience would be important, right? If a person wants to see results in a practice. So if a person is not patient, let's say they meditate halfway, or they do their recitation halfway, and they find, my mind run here, run there, very scattered, always distracted, and then you give up. Some people think, I'm not cut for meditation. My mind cannot calm down, cannot become still. So I'm not suitable to practice and to give up. So again, like we always say, the restless mind is very normal. It's part of our 5 hindrances. So you need to be patient. So whatever sort of so-called defects you may have, any kind of unvirtue you may have, anger, jealousy, whatever it is, always be patient. All these states are impermanent. Just continue to put in right effort, cultivate the good thoughts, the wholesome thoughts, and over time, those negative habits will slowly dissipate. So it can't like disappear overnight. Yeah? So this one is takes time. So that's why you need patience. That's why it's called cultivation. You need time to cultivate. Okay, and next is composure. Yeah, so composure is you need to be composed, you need to be calm, very similar with patience, right? And seeing contemplatives. Okay, so this seeing contemplatives is seeking practitioners. Yeah, any kind of Dhamma practitioners. So anybody that contemplates on the spiritual path, anything wholesome, that is contemplative. So it doesn't restrict to Buddhist religion. So it's a case-by-case basis. So if anybody you find that, okay, they're practicing correctly, they're reducing greed and hatred, they are full of good qualities, then these are people you need to see. So similar to the earlier points, we talk about Kalyana Mittas, spiritual guides or spiritual mentors. Some traditions they call gurus, sometimes called spiritual friends. So it's important to see those people so that you can discuss the Dhamma on timely occasions, the next point. So besides hearing, and if you make an effort to see the contemplatives, then there's time for discussion. So normally in this session we have time for discussion. Before the session or after the session, timely discussion. So any kind of doubt you have, then you can put forward the question, or you wish to discuss any point and or further elaborate, ask the speaker or whatever, then you can discuss the Dhamma. So it's a two-way thing. You can even present your point of view, and sometimes we can work on that. Sometimes we, in the practicing the Dhamma, there are 3 phases, and these study, practice, and realize. So sometimes we need to ask, how are we sure we are on the right track? Are we on the right track? We study and then we practice, right? And eventually we need to realize or experience this teaching. So nowadays, there are so many kinds of teachings, so it's good to discuss. So not just one teacher, you can even go to multiple teachers and discuss of different tradition, different faiths, and you see which one relate to you better. So every person, every cultivator, every contemplative have different technology, different stages of insight, different stages of practice. So you take the best. So this is what the Buddha and his chief disciples do. Last time, even before they got enlightened, they went from teacher to teacher. The ultimate goal is to realize the Dhamma. So they have lots of discussions. So a lot of times in the sutta, you see discussions have, they ask the other practitioners from other faiths to explain their points, and then they can learn, they can discuss. So this one, do not be confused with debate. It's not a debate, it's a discussion. So in a debate is basically you want to win. So that's a debate. So normally in a debate, there will be lots of quarrel, lots of argument. So in a discussion, it's more like understanding, what's what's your best practice, and then you can take back and see what points you can improve further. So it's a kind of like sharing, like open source kind of sharing. So they put their points forward, you put your points forward, and see what you can improve. So it's kind of like a teamwork kind of practice. So you everybody put their best points forward, and everybody grow together. So that's a discussion. So the frame of mind has to be correct, not just between different religions or different traditions. Sometimes even within the own tradition, some people have this want to debate that kind of mentality. Then there will be a problem. Okay, so this is the highest blessing, right? So probably we might finish the topic today. So next slide. Okay, austerity, celibacy, seeing the noble truths, realizing liberation. This is the highest blessing. So austerity is talking about the precepts. So austerity have different levels. So some people take 5 precepts, some people take 8. Some go to this novice, become 10 precepts. Some take a few hundred, become a fully ordained monastic. And some even want to take additional these ascetic vows. So this is different levels of austerity. And the highest austerity is actually patience, khanti, patience. If a person externally can take lots of these precepts, but they do not train their mind, then that is not practicing austerity. So it's related, coupled together with the mental state of patience. So you need to combine. The next one is celibacy. Okay, so this is if you want to go higher in the practice. So for laypersons, you want to take 8 precepts, by all means, celibacy. Or some people want to go forth, become monastics. So this one is to keep life simple. Keep life simple. Okay, seeing the noble truths. So this one again, when a person practices and have a glimpse of the Dhamma, experience the spiritual happiness, right? So they have this kind of see the noble truths. And eventually, if a person pursue that path, they'll eventually realize liberation. Okay, this is the highest blessing. Okay, next slide. Okay, so this is after a person is liberated, a mind that, when touched by the ways of the world, is unshaken, sorrowless, dustless, secure. This is the highest blessing. Right, so this is enlightened mind. So if a person, let's say, does lots of samatha practice, then this jhanic kind of concentration, right? Their mind may have certain level of equanimity. Let's say if they have the 3rd or 4th level of concentration onwards, and if that karma hasn't exhausted, or that consciousness still lingers, they may temporarily, have unshaken mind, not affected by, a lot of these 8 winds. But once that consciousness fall off, that karma, that karmic effect wears off, and the mind falls back to the desire realm, and then they get affected again. Everything come back. Yeah? So this is not true unshaken mind. Not a true unshaken mind. So a practitioner, you need to combine both this samatha vipassana, or they need to differentiate. What is this equanimity through wisdom versus equanimity of just pure concentration. So there's a difference. Okay, so when a person is truly detached, they practice impermanence, they reduce greed and hatred for real, whichever state of consciousness, be it in desire realm or whether in concentration, they won't cling. They won't cling. When a person is not enlightened, even when they enter jhanas, they will also cling. They want that state of mind, very nice. So they hold on, they grasp onto that level of concentration. So that is also clinging. But liberated mind, they will not cling to these states of concentration, because they have the highest contentment, they have the highest concentration, the liberated kind of concentration. So it's like naturally there all the time. So even if they enter concentration, it's like 2 in 1. They have also the liberated concentration with them. So they don't see the point clinging to that whatever state of mind. Okay, so this is the highest blessing. Okay, next. So again, it's further elaboration. If everywhere undefeated when doing these things, people go everywhere in well-being. This is their highest blessing, right? So actually, a lay person is encouraged to have all these 38 blessings, including until Nibbana. Yeah, so if you just perform some good deeds or just keep your precepts, not complete blessings. You need to cultivate the mind. When the mind is free, whatever you do, then this is the highest blessing. Wherever you go, then is true happiness. Right? Okay, so I end my talk. Is there a further slide? No more. Okay, so that's it. Now it's 9 o'clock. I don't wish to prolong the theoretical discussion. We need to maintain this attention span of, or effective attention span of absorbing information. So now I leave the floor open to Q&A. Any questions or any comments? Yes, Terence.
Okay. From from this explanation from this sutta, it means the highest blessing actually is Nibbana, the arahantship, a liberated mind.
Yeah, that would be the highest blessing. But if a person wants to have like a more complete, holistic, we talk about mundane and even supramundane kind of dharmas, then all 38 would be nice, but of course not everybody can have 38. We aim for the highest. For example, like Angulimala, I believe he don't fulfill a lot of the previous blessings. He killed lots of people, but once the mind is liberated, then that is the highest blessing. Okay, anyone else? So for those who are not sure about Angulimala, that's the monk in the Buddha's time before he got enlightened. He's a mass serial killer. He killed like 999 people. I'm not sure whether they exaggerated numbers, but that is basically killed a lot of people. So because of his mass murder, after he became a monk, he was being attacked all the time. every day, when he just step out of the monastery, go for the alms round, people recognize him, they beat him up and that kind of stuff. So he's always injured. So he need to work extra hard, to get liberated as soon as possible, until his final days, where he was like beaten to death or something. Yeah. Okay. Anyone else?
Phra Goh, I think if I remember correctly, Angulimala became Arahant in 14 days.
Okay. That's good to note. I can't remember how many days, but okay, 14 days. That's fast, short duration.
Yes, which is why I find it very, it's like a miracle, I mean, how can anybody who is a mass murderer 14 days ago, he met the Buddha and straight away attained stream entry, then 14 days later he became Arahant.
Yeah, so again, we say individual karma is different, yeah. So because the Buddha saw that this Angulimala has a potential, that's why he deliberately went over to try to save him. If not, he will be executed, or he was going to perform a very heinous crime, about to kill his own mother. Yeah? So the Buddha intervened. He has some spiritual practice in the past when he learned from the Taxila University, from great Brahmin teachers. They have certain spiritual powers. So he has some talent. So it will be a waste if he's being executed. So it's either he goes to hell after killing the mother for many eons, or the Buddha intervene and he can get liberated this lifetime. So it's these two options. So I think the Buddha is very compassionate. I think by even accepting him, I think that kind of tarnish the reputation a lot. Yeah. Okay. Anyone else?
Bante, so
Yeah.
even like for us lay person, it's very important that we have a good parami. Like the Sarakani, he's also a great drinker, but he became a Sotapanna, although he drink and drink so much.
Yeah, they never mention whether he drink a lot or not. No, they just mention he drink. Yeah, so that's why the precepts, or rather the Eightfold Path, before the precepts were formulated, they didn't include drinking inside, taking of intoxicants. Yeah, so like the 10 unvirtuous deeds, they never mention drinking of this alcohol. So it is later added because someone else, after drinking, who is still not a stream enterer, they drink and they lose their heedfulness and they start committing all kinds of things to break all the precepts. Then they see the need to introduce it in the precepts. Yeah.
Thank you, Bante.
Okay, no problem. Okay, anyone else? How about from the comments on the Facebook? No? Who is Siri Tara? Yeah, this new person.
Yeah, Namo Buddhaya Bante.
Hi, hello.
Hello, I'm from Canada. I'm just
you're
joining.
From Canada.
Yeah,
welcome to the class.
Yeah.
What time
I
is
just
it now
finished,
in Canada?
Huh?
What time is it now in?
It's 8 a.m.
Wow, very early.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I think I will leave the session if it is like at 9 a.m. because I need to start working.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So Welcome to the class. Do you have any questions?
No, it's okay. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, thank
All right.
you.
Thanks for joining. So if there's no further questions, we are going to have like a 5-minute break. You can use the bathroom, do stretching, and we'll come back for the guided meditation later. Huh? So see you all later.
Sorry, Monday, I won't be joining the meditation later.
Okay, no problem.
Maybe the last part I'll come in. I'm going to do
Okay.
something else. Yeah.
All right. All
Thank
right.
you.
Okay. See you. Okay, I'm back. Let's see who else is ready. Do you have any suggestions for next week's class? Any topics? Because we've already finished this Mangala Sutta. No, if not, then maybe after the session, then we can see what ideas pop up our minds. Okay, Sri Tara, are you ready? Okay, all right, so we can start with the meditation. Make sure our back is upright. Find a comfortable seat. And the body relaxed. Okay, then once we relax the body, and next is mental relaxation, mental detachment. So the first phase of this meditation is on these impurities of the body. We are going to visualize the body parts, starting with the hairs. So first we wish the hairs well and happy from head to toe, or we can have gratitude to the hair. And whenever we think of the hairs, any new patch of hairs, we wish them well and happy. So new image appear, when we conjure new patch of hair, well and happy, new patch of hair, well and happy. So somebody typed, there's lots of noise, fireworks, and this is where we practice restraint in senses. So all the while, our six senses are working all the time: eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. If let's say we are normal and not handicapped in any way, and our attention will actually run around through these six sense doors: eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. So it's very normal for the attention to move around, but the issue is we choose to cling or choose not to cling. So an untrained mind will have either greed or hatred. So even like thinking of our hairs, there's a tendency of greed or hatred, extremes. Either we like the hair, or very nice, very beautiful, I like it. There's greed or hatred. Or the hair is very messy, or it's very ugly, I don't like it. Then you have hatred. So we are practicing the middle way, which is not the 50% of both, but avoiding both extremes. So there's a deliberation on generating right thoughts, part of the Eightfold Path. So now we are doing loving kindness, thoughts of non-hatred to avoid the extreme of anger. So whatever noise your attention loves to run to, you just wish it well and happy and come back. make peace and don't fight. Don't fight, don't control. Okay, and once the mind is rather calmed down with this loving kindness, and this will be the right frame of mind, to introduce the truth, which is impermanence. So all these hairs go through birth, aging, sickness, and death. So this is to reduce greed and attachment. So you think of hairs growing and falling, many cycles of birth and death. The more the merrier. So if you have this either inner peace or inner joy, then this is the symptoms that you're on the right track. Not symptoms of COVID. It's symptoms of detachment. And whatever experience you have, we try not to cling on to them. We just take note of it as a sidelines, as a byproduct. And emphasis is on planting the seeds. It means keep on planting the right thoughts, keep on observing impermanence all the time. And we can reflect by asking ourselves, are these hairs truly self? Can we tell the hairs not to go through birth and death? Okay, and the next part of the body, we are going to visualize the nails, fingernails and toenails. We wish them well and happy. And all these nails go through birth, aging, sickness, and passing away. And we think of the nails growing and falling many, many cycles. And we can ask ourselves, are these nails truly self? Can we tell the nails not to go through birth and death? And next we can think of the teeth, all the teeth inside the mouth. May they be well and happy, all the upper rows of teeth and lower rows of teeth, may they be well and happy. And all these teeth go through birth, aging, sickness, and passing away. So the teeth, they fall off twice the most. Yeah? So we're going to think of the bone cells of the teeth, keep having wear and tear and they replenish all the time. Many, many cycles of birth and death. And then we can ask ourselves, are these teeth truly self? Can we tell the teeth not to go through birth and death? And next we think of the skin. We wish all the skin well and happy from head to toe. And every time we think of a new patch of skin, we wish it well and happy. And all the skin go through birth, aging, sickness, and passing away. So the skin kept growing and falling, many, many cycles. And we can ask ourselves, are the skin truly self? Can we tell the skin or the mental factors associated with the skin, perception, your feelings, your emotions to the skin? Can you tell them not to change? Can you tell them not to go through this birth and death? Okay, and the next phase of meditation, we are going to practice the 4 sublime states. So this one doesn't require any visualization. We are just using feeling of sensations. So now we are going to wish all beings in front well and happy. So basically, whatever kind of sensation you feel in front, when we wish all beings in front well and happy, it's a real-time sensations. Whatever arises, we just wish them well and happy. So don't need to imagine like the previous exercise. So this is happening here and now. Okay, then we come back to ourselves and we wish all beings behind well and happy. Same thing, whatever sensations you can detect, you wish them well and happy. And we come back to ourselves and we wish all beings on the left well and happy. And we come back to ourselves and we wish all beings on the right well and happy. And we come back to ourselves and we wish all beings above well and happy. And we come back to ourselves and we wish all beings below well and happy. And we come back to ourselves. And this time round we are going to wish the entire body well and happy, basically all the sensations of the body. So basically whatever sensation you can detect, you just wish it well and happy. And these sensations are generally classified as the 4 elements: earth, fire, wind, and water. So it's under mindfulness of the body or mindfulness of the 4 elements. So the earth element represents any hard and soft sensations. Fire would be this warm and cold. Wind is fast and slow movements. And water, moist or dry. So there's no need to purposely generate those sensations. Let it arise naturally by itself. No need to cling, no need to push it away. So as long as you detect something new arising, you just wish it well and happy. Okay, so this is generating loving kindness within the confines of the body. And next we are going to cultivate this boundless loving kindness. So we're going to wish all beings in all directions well and happy, above, below, and all across. No need to push your attention out and let it extend naturally by itself, however far you wish to travel. And if it stops, then that will be your universe. And no need to imagine or visualize. We have no idea how all sentient beings look like, all the species of insects, all the unseen beings. As long as our attention extends, it will naturally encompass all those sentient beings inside. And how to infuse this area of attention with loving kindness. We do the same thing, whatever sensation you feel within that field of attention, near or far, we just wish it well and happy. So new sensation arise, well and happy, new sensation arise, well and happy. So the more you generate thoughts of loving kindness, the calmer the mind should get. So this is the paradox of skillful thinking. Some people have the misconception that to have a quiet mind, you must do nothing, or have no thinking. That is not true. That's basically what we do before we sleep. We fall asleep. We don't do anything and then we sleep. So this time we call this mental cultivation. It's kind of trainings, but we don't overforce it. We have more repetition. And no matter how calm the mind is, how peaceful or how pleasant the emotion, always treat it as the byproduct. Emphasis is on planting the cause, which is generating the right thought, the loving kindness for every sensation. Okay, so this is the basis of using metta or loving kindness to cultivate some concentration. Okay, and next we add some insight or wisdom into the practice, and we are going to contemplate how to develop more unconditional kind of loving kindness, and we are going to observe impermanence. So all the sensations, they arise and pass away. All phenomenon, all sentient beings, they appear and disappear all the time. So every moment we keep detecting this arising and passing of all these formations. Same thing, however peaceful or calm, always look out for impermanence. And this is using loving kindness to cultivate both concentration and insight. And the next sublime state we are moving on is compassion. So compassion is to overcome this cruelty, and we are going to wish all beings, may they be free from suffering. So same thing, no need to imagine or speculate how much suffering are there, all the news, people in hospitals or people suffering from hunger and so on. So no need to over-imagine. We're just using here and now sensations. Whatever sensation arise, these are the aggregates, subject to clinging, subject to suffering. So when we detect new sensation, we wish all beings free from suffering. New sensation rise, free from suffering. So we try to keep this compassion moment to moment, here and now. Because once we start to visualize or imagine, we may initially have a few thoughts of compassion, and next down the line we have thoughts of worrying and planning how to help this person, how to help that person, and then slowly on it moves to more drama and becomes depression or burnout. How come this person can't be helped, or they won't help themselves, so on and so forth. So that's very draining. So we use this in real life, draining energy, but now we learn how to recharge. Every moment, new sensation arise, free from suffering. New sensation arise, free from suffering. So when compassion done correctly, the middle way without personalizing and falling into the indirect enemy of clinging, then this compassion, when settled down, should be quite pleasant, not sorrowful or depressive kind of emotion. So this is the practice of compassion to cultivate concentration. And next we are adding some of this insight into the practice, and we're going to contemplate how to truly overcome this suffering. So we need to practice detachment, so we need to observe impermanence. So all these sensations, all formations, all beings, they arise and pass away all the time, every moment. Every moment we keep observing this arising and passing of all these formations. Calmer the mind symbolizes some form of detachment, and there are different spectrums of calmness. Yeah? So even you think it's calm, you still can reflect on impermanence and detach further. So with the ongoing sort of crisis, be it a pandemic or whatever, disasters in life, and we keep generating this positivity. So this compassion we extend out also. We need to have compassion for our own mind. Yeah? Need to detach, not get overly affected. Not get dragged along with the ups and downs of life. So once we think of image only, we'll get dragged. So we come back to impermanence. And we take note of our so-called high score. What's your calmness state of mind? And we let that be our anchor, our reference. As we move about in our daily life, it's not to control that calm state of mind, but understand the causes. What is the cause and effect? What kind of thoughts you need to generate to produce this calmness? And before we end the session, same gentle reminder from the Karaniya Metta Sutta. As long as we can maintain this boundless loving kindness or compassion, be it standing, sitting, walking or lying down, we can maintain this mindfulness, and this is the highest conduct. And with that in mind, we can gently open our eyes. So informally we end the session, but informally, we still maintain this wholesome state of mind. Okay, those who have gotten, open up your eyes. Any questions or any suggestions for next week's topic? No issues. If not, then I'll just automatically probably talk about the Magha Puja. Huh? Okay, then let's move on to the dedication. Okay, so from the merits generated from the practice and Dhamma discussion, we are going to dedicate these merits. Akasatha Japumata Devanaga Mahitika Punyang Tang Anumoditva Chirang Rakantu Loka Sasanang Etavata Cha Amhihi Sampadang Punya Sampadang Sabbe Deva Sabbe Buddha Sabbe Sata Anumodantu Sabba Sampati Siddhya. And dedication of merits to the departed. Idang minyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang minyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang minyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. And aspiration. Imina punya kamina mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yavani bhana padiya sadhu sadhu sadhu. All right, so that ends the session. Any announcements from Terence?
Bhante.
Okay, if not, then good night and see you all next week.
Thank you, Bante.
Bhante.
Thank you, Bante.
Thank you,
Happy New
Thank
Year.
you. Good night.
Happy New Year.
Thank you,
Thank you
Bante.
all.
Thank you all.